Hi friends, we're starting a new month and we're starting a new element of art and we're working on the element of shape this month. So I just wanted to give you a little introduction to the art element of shape. There are basically two main shapes that we use in art. One is geometric shapes. These are the shapes that you've learned, that you probably learned in kindergarten and you know from math and different things you learn in school. The basic shapes like circles, rectangles, squares, triangles, hexagons, octagons, trapezoids, all those things. Those are called geometric shapes. The other kind of shapes that we see all around us and we use a lot in art is organic shapes. Organic shapes are not man-made shapes. They're shapes we find in nature, like the shapes of leaves, trees, clouds, flowers, people, and animals. Those are organic shapes. So you can tell the difference from geometric. Usually have straight or curved lines. Like a circle is all curved, but the rest of the geometric shapes have straight lines and corners. And organic shapes are kind of wavy and curvy and just organic. So today for your class, so in 5th grade this year, your teachers told me that you've been studying landforms in science. So I thought it'd be fun to do an art project that goes along with your science lesson about landforms. I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I know you guys already know what landforms are, but this is what I found. Landforms are defined as the natural physical features found on the surface of the earth, created as a result of various forces of nature, such as wind, water, ice, and movement of tectonic plates. Some landforms are created in a matter of a few hours, while others take millions of years to appear. So these are some examples of landforms. Some of them can be created in a few hours, and others take millions of years. One of the landforms I was thinking about is we're going to be using different shapes. Like we've been learning about shapes, we're going to use like probably a lot of organic shapes and maybe some geometric shapes in creating the landform artworks that we're going to be doing this week. So one of the things I thought about was a glacier. It took millions of years to form. And this is an art project I did for my college art class this summer. I created this glacier using a lot of geometric shapes. I cut a lot of triangles and I cut some rectangles, and I also have some organic shapes in this, but then I cut them and glued them on to create a glacier. So here's some other examples, and let's see if you guys can guess which landform from this picture. I'm going to hand all you guys one of these pictures. So which landform do you think this is? This was created by a student a couple of years ago. We're going to be using wallpaper paper and regular paper, and you can cut out shapes and create landforms. So what do you think this one is? They're bumpy. There's trees and small bumpy. So if you guessed hills, this is one of the landforms. These are hills. So this would be like the person that decided to make this landform did hills for their project. And look at your paper. What do you think this landform would be? Okay, if you guess waterfall, you're right. This is a waterfall that someone created. Here's another one that one of the students created. It's not pointy, it's rounded. A rounded hill is right. How about this one where I think there's a lot of blue surrounding a small area of land? What would that be called? An island. Good job. This one definitely pointy, and there's pine trees and large shapes would be mountains. Good job, friends. This one. I know you can guess what this one is from your paper. All right, good job. If you said ocean, you're right. So these are all different landforms. And here's the last one. You can see plateaus in this one, maybe some canyons. And if you guessed desert, good job. Okay, friends. So for your art project today, I'll be showing you in just a minute how we're going to create these great landforms, and you're going to make some beautiful works of art. Talk to you soon. Okay, friends, for our art project today, this is what you're going to need for supplies. You're going to need glue stick and scissors. And then for the background for your project, you can choose a piece of cardstock, and I'll have a big variety of different colors that you want to choose for your background. So here's just an example of some of the things you could choose, some of the colors of cardstock. So first you'll pick a color of cardstock. Actually, first you'll pick what you're gonna make, which landform or biome that you're gonna make. Decide that first. If you wanna make mountain, desert, wetland, hills, whatever you decide. So get that in your brain and then pick out which cardstock background you want. So get one of these. Then I'm gonna have a box of wallpaper scraps over here. And in your classroom, you'll be able to come. This box has a lot of big pieces in it. And this box has a lot of little pieces in it. So I'm gonna say to start off, maybe pick eight pieces that you wanna use in your art project. And then if you need to get more or you need to give some less away, then, you know, if you don't need them all, you can put them back in here. Anything you have left over, you can put back in for the other classes to use. So pick out like 8 pieces that you think would look really cool in your project. So I'm just gonna like pick some out of here that I want, because maybe I'm gonna have water, so I'm gonna get some blue or whatever I want. So I'm gonna pick 8 pieces of the paper. And if you wanna use some just regular paper, other cardstock, you can, but these wallpaper sample papers are really cool. So after I get my 8 pieces, then I'm gonna come back to my desk and I'm gonna cut out the shapes that I wanna use for my art project. So on this one, I already picked this dark blue piece of paper for my background. And I'm gonna make, this one's going to be a wetland or a marsh. So I've decided I'm gonna cut out my shapes out of the wallpaper. And once I get them all cut out, then I'm gonna lay them on here before I glue anything down. I always lay everything out. So I pre-cut these out yesterday. And then I'm gonna lay them where I want them, so I kind of know how I want it. And after I get my shapes all cut out and I've laid it out on my paper so I know what my picture is gonna look like, then I'm gonna go back and glue everything on. Okay friends, I finished my wetlands marsh landscape that I made. And one thing I'm gonna do now that I'm done gluing everything on is I'm just gonna take a white pencil, or you can take a white crayon. I'm just gonna have a little bit of detail in the water because this is supposed to be like a pond or a marshy area. So I was thinking I might just add some little lines in the water like this. Just to add a little bit more detail to it so people will know that this is water. This is a wetland. So if you want to do that, you can. You wouldn't have to, of course. It's up to you. If you just like, here's the way it is, that's fine. So I just added that. So now I'm done with my wetland art project, where I used cut pieces of wallpaper and other paper. When you make a project like this, it's called a collage. It's made from a lot of other pieces that are put together to make one work of art. I hope you guys had a great time making this. I know they're gonna turn out fabulous. We'll see you guys next time.